Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Demi and it is the 29th of May. We only have 2 more days left to the end of May before we start June. Money Diaries series, usually I bring you through the annual budgeting spreadsheet that I personally use to keep track of my income, my expenses, my bills. If you want to have the spreadsheet to do the same, you can go to the description box below. Links and details to how you can download this spreadsheet is all there. So today, let's go through what I spent in May and whether did I burst my budget. The big review, whether have I kept to my $400 expenses. No, in May I did not keep to $400, I actually overspent. In my April Money Diaries series, I mentioned that I actually budgeted more for my facial renewal package. Instead of a $300 that I've incurred for my facial, I've only incurred $104. This is just a deposit. When I go back to the shop for my facial, I have to pay a little more, but that is all that I've incurred in May, $104 compared to my budget of $300. For eating out, I have actually kept to my budget of $300. In May, I've only spent $91.23. But for my transportation, I have actually exceeded. I budgeted for $50 and I exceeded it by about 52 cents. I was actually required to head down to my client's place more often than I have planned for. That is why there is an increase in my transportation, but it is also because I did top up my cash card that I personally use to drive my mom's car out. Days where I travel to far distances or when I have the car available to me, I will drive out, and which is why I top up my cash card. So this is more like a luxury expense, but it is what I budgeted for as well. For shopping, $44.60, I actually spent it on Body Shop essential items, things like toners, facial wash. They were having a 20% discount, so that was essential. Giving was $80, and for others, the $69 that I spent for was actually the editing software that I'm using. It's a 1-year payment. I'm gonna try this software out and we'll see how it goes. In total, for May, I have spent $446.49. We go back to the sources of income. This month, all that I have received was actually $2,864. So my bills in May was the same as in April. I mentioned that actually it was going to increase, but I found out that I actually had a last installment to pay for, so it is still the same for May. But in June, it might be slightly different, which we will get into later. So my savings, I still managed to save $1,500 because if you see in the cash flow summary, I actually have an additional $200 to spare for. I do not account for investments into this overall cash flow summary. What I do is that I only actually account for the first 4 items, which is my income, my bills, my savings, and my expenses. And investments is what I invest with whatever savings that I have in the bank. This month, my investments went a little higher. For investments, I actually invested a little more in cryptocurrency, and also with the new extra bonds that got introduced this month, I have invested in that as well. If you see the cash flow summary, in the actual column, I actually have another $202.82 to spare for. It is more than the usual that I have. In my actual, I can increase it to $1,702 and we would have another 82 cents extra. So in total, I have actually saved $1,702.82. This is more than the $1,500 that I forced myself to save. It is higher also because in the month of May, I have received an interest payout from a dividend bond that matured. And if we go to the interest and dividend tracker, you can see that I had the Fraser bond last dividend payout of $126, and for my card cashback for Absolute Amex was $17.58 and Singlife was $9. In next week's video, you will see my review of Singlife and the interest breakdown that I have been receiving for the last 2 years. So if you are interested in that, click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload the next video. This is my May. I am actually quite satisfied with where I am. Right now with inflation, even more so, we should be more conscious about our spending, our income, and how we budget for in our life. This is the cost of living right here in Singapore, and right now let's just budget for June. I don't really have any significant things lined up ahead in June except for my parents' birthday, so we'll most likely head out for dinner. So we have not really planned for that yet, but right now I'm just gonna budget for for it. If you see the June Excel sheet that I have right here, it is actually more or less filled up. I have actually created a video on how to use this budgeting spreadsheet. If you want to do the same to use this budgeting spreadsheet, details to that is all in the description below on how you can download this spreadsheet. If you have just downloaded, do have a look at last week's video. I'll link to that up above or down below so that you can have a reference and know how to use this spreadsheet. A detailed step-by-step guide. In June, my salary is still the same. I am going to put it here. Interest and dividends for the month of June, I will not be expecting any, so I'm just going to put 0. For card cashback, this is actually what I've paid for last month, and this is what I'm expecting to receive this month. In the actual column here, I will update it after I get my bank statements. This is just an expected amount. How I calculate it is based on the bills that I paid and the percentage cashback that I'll receive. For the UOB Absolute Amex, I'll receive a 1.7% cashback on all spending, and for the UOB Evol card that I'm using is $40 back on 2 categories that I hit. So more details is actually in my cashback card video that I did about 2 months ago. If you're interested in that, I'll link it up above or down below again. And if we continue on to the bills section, it will be higher in June because I'm expecting a payment for my insurance. I have 2 outstanding payments for my insurance, which is the hospital plan and also the accident plan that I have. So I pay this on a yearly basis because it's not a significant amount to pay monthly. Total for my bills in June is going to be $1,400. It is way more, and now if I head back to the cash flow summary, my expenses will still be kept the same at $400. I'm still consistently trying to keep to the $400 expenses in June. I will continue this until I won't be able to. With the standard of living and the cost of living right here in Singapore increasing on a day-to-day, I'll try my best to keep to a $400, and it is a challenge that I would love to take. When we go down to the savings, how much can I save this month? Let me just go back to the cash flow summary. I only have $1,105.27 left to save. This is what I'm going to be saving for June. I know it is not the $1,500, but because I have a lot of bills that I have to pay for this month, I will be saving lesser, but let's try and keep it to the $1,105.27. By the end of May, we will come back and have a reference to this and see whether if I kept to what I budgeted for. That is all for this Money Diary series for May and budgeting for June. I hope you enjoy this kind of content. If you do, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section how much are you trying to save every single month. I would love to know, and with you guys as my accountability buddy, I'm really just being very open here on YouTube and sharing with you guys about how much I have saved, how much have I spent right here in Singapore. This is the cost of living right here in Singapore. This budgeting spreadsheet is actually very useful to keep track of the ins and out of your money cash flow system in your life. Make sure you download this spreadsheet or go and search for other spreadsheet that will suit your needs. In this personal finance journey, there is no one size fits all, but if you do download this spreadsheet that I have, if you have any questions or any way that you want to customize this spreadsheet, do feel free to reach out. I'll try my best. And as always, give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.